Once again, I welcome you to the virtual reading of the tale of Hexagon City. I quite appreciate my viewers, those who have been watching and also sending us comments. Now, we appreciate you. And today, we will start from where we stopped the last time. But before then, we'll be back after this short break.
Hello, guys. Have you heard about a new book titled The Tale of Hexagon City? The Tale of Hexagon City is not just an ordinary storybook, but educative, inspiring, and informative. A city initially ruled by strangers and city-generated resources, and later ruled by indigenous kings, who later turned the table against indigenous. The experience was unpalatable in the sequence of kingship rules that the city bounced back, and the rest is a story as it is.
Thank you, and I believe you are going to get more in this book while we read together, or while you pick a copy for yourself and you read. We stopped at chapter 3 and page 17. We will start from page 18, where we have after the death of Ayeni, and that what happens after. We will both read together. The death of Ayeni brought a political geometry and permutation in the city, as many felt it would not be out of place if they had come out to become the king and even serve in the king's council, if King Olademo would stand by his promise. Many credible people went to hide their faces and heads for fear of being killed or lynched, as they could not trust King Olademo's decision. But some bad people, as well as those still had some credibility, decided to come out to challenge the king and said they would be ready to contest for the position of the king of Hexagon City and village head positions. Sequel to the death of Ayeni and the tension in the city, Olademo peacefully left the throne on 31st July 1963 and handed over to Kuku as regent, who was the chief priest during his time, to monitor the selection of families and selection and election, as it had been the city's custom before. On 11th August 1963, the committee set up by Kuku to search and conduct an election for the king met. The committee did very well and produced a new king later in the year. In compensation for Chidume, who had been imprisoned by King Olademo and was later released after the death of Ayeni, since he too had the qualities to be king, and more so had been a community leader before. Chidume was elected and enthroned by Kuku as the 6th king of Hexagon City on 24th December 1969. The reign of the new monarch, King Chidume, became so successful that the people in the city rejoiced, and those who had decided not to come out to contest for the kingship and village heirs position started regretting that this is now the kingdom of the people, for the people, and by the people. King Chidume transformed the city. His experience in the palace jail and the circumstances of his selection and election helped a great deal to enable him to lead with fairness, justice, and equity. He brought innovations into the kingdom with new ideas. The city men and women loved his programs, and many of the children of the city who had earlier fled the city came back to the city and began to do business again. King Chidume brought a woman called Ubebo to his council. Ubebo was just a woman like a man, and incidentally, she was from the king's zone, the old zone. The king relied on her for pieces of advice, and the people in the city too admired her for her relentlessness, doggedness, and devotion to duty. She joined forces with the king to revamp Hexagon City economy. Ubebo, a graduate of Calculus University in Hexagon City, changed the economic atmosphere of the city so that the economy began to boom again. In the reign of King Chidume, many innovations and discoveries in science and technology, which the city never had before, were invented. Life came back to the city again, as both young and old began to enjoy electricity, pipe bore water, and many other things. Well, King Chidume thought he could continue to rule, but was reminded by Oshatui, the new chief priest after Kuku, that the regulation for the kingship reign is that kings must rule within a certain number of years, and after that, they would leave. This is unlike waiting for the king's death before a new king emerges. Of a truth, King Chidume deserved to be allowed to rule and to continue to reign, but he did not want to change the rules of the city, as he allowed Oshatuyi, the chief priest, to do his normal duty, to enthrone a new king when it was time. During the reign of King Chidume, citizens continued to bring up good ideas, and he had listening ears. The king was loved by all and sundry, even after he had left the throne. But before leaving the throne, King Chidume ensured that 85% of the good requests brought by the zones to the palace were granted, and he operated under the principle of equity and justice. The king depended on his royal council members and his other appointees in taking concrete decisions. He respected members of his council, disregarding their status, gender, or background. The king maintained cordial relationship with both old and young, male and female, and it was a great and memorable time in Hexagon City. We will stop here today and we'll continue next time. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your comments, and we hope you will also share with others to enjoy the virtual reading of the Tale of Hexagon City with us. Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.